Welcome to my cake kitchen. I'm Gladys, and today I am going to be taking you through everything you need to know to make my simple white chocolate ganache that is used for covering cakes. And I'm also going to be talking you through exactly my intention for picking the ingredients that I pick, why I pick them, and also how I combine them to yield me the great results that is this simple white chocolate ganache that I use for covering cakes. Hopefully this will be a developing series where I'll take you through my entire ganache processes from coloring ganache to the different forms that you can derive for ganache for covering, filling, or using as drip on cakes. I use it for covering all my tall cakes because ganache guarantees stability better than buttercream sometimes. I'll keep an asterisk on that because my buttercream lovers may have good reason for sticking with buttercream. Now, an important thing to note about the ingredient selection here is that I have myself some white chocolate here. I'll be giving you some more information about the white chocolate that I use. This is regular white chocolate and definitely not cooking chocolate. That's a kind of different type of chocolate. And one important thing to know about ganache for covering cakes is that white chocolate ganache, as much as the name is white chocolate, it doesn't have any cocoa in it except for cocoa butter. So the chocolate comes as a mixture of cocoa butter, sugar, and some milk powder, which for most part, if you've heard about ganache, you need quite a bit of white chocolate here to mix with cream to derive your ganache. Here I have some double cream as well. It's important to know the type of cream you are using while you're using it. And this is fresh double cream. It's important because the difference between fresh double cream and double cream are two different things. Fresh double cream simply means it is fresh and has not been pasteurized, whereas double cream is pasteurized, which means it has been preheated and warmed to extend its shelf life. But adding double or fresh cream is not the only medium of cream that you can add to your white chocolate here to melt it together. You can also use Elmlea. I almost get that name entirely wrong all the time, but I will also be showing you one of that and why sometimes I use a combination of both. My own preference, handing you that information so that can help you. It's important to note here that there is no one way of making ganache, and this is my way that works for me. But I have adapted this, and this almost seems like an updated series because a long time ago when I started YouTube, when I was new to cake making videos, I created a ganache tutorial that has been very watched on here. I'll link it up here. Still contains some very useful information, so perhaps consider this an updated version. Here I also have some corn syrup, and the corn syrup over here helps the texture of the ganache to hold a little bit. There's only a small quantity, about 50 mils over here. And then to enhance taste, I have myself a pinch of salt. You're looking at about 5 to 7 grams of salt, just to kind of bring some taste and complexity to the white chocolate buttercream. Obviously the salt is definitely optional. You can do without it, but it does make a huge difference for when I make my chocolate buttercream. A definitely optional element here is some flavoring. Depending on what I am doing or why I am doing it, I might add flavoring to it. But you want to be very careful, especially if you're not deriving water ganache. You don't want to be adding a lot of other liquids into the ganache because that has a tendency to interfere with consistency. But what I know helps very much is once you go for corn syrup, you can almost add a little bit of anything and definitely flavoring here, but I'm not using vanilla flavoring because the color of the vanilla flavoring is going to interfere with the color of the ganache I am trying to yield. Now, does the difference in either fresh or double cream affect how the ganache holds and yields? Slightly. Obviously the fresh cream is fresher, has a great mouthfeel. Double cream is still fine. The difference is just really subtle, and right now I won't bother too much about it. But one thing you should be bothered about is the fat content in your fresh or double cream for you to make the ganache. Now let's talk about my use of Elmlea. There are different situations where I use Elmlea. Some days I use it exclusively. Some other times I mix that with fresh double cream. Why is that? Well, we have already established fresh double cream yields a better mouthfeel because it's fresh and it's creamy. Tastier too, but because this is made from vegetable fat, it is more stable than the fresh cream. So if you're not watching your ganache in the microwave or the heat source, it can overheat and split very quickly. That can create problems for you. So depending on what I'm doing, I like to employ the stable qualities of this just to add to the properties that fresh cream brings, just to give me a great result. With the subject of ganache splitting, with the use of corn syrup here, I have always managed to kind of avoid that problem, but ganache splitting is actually a real thing, and you're better off just avoiding that problem altogether. As this develops, I'm sure I'll be back to show you how to fix some ganache splitting, even though I feel like I have to engineer that process over here. So with all of that said, what do we have here? Most importantly, I am using the ratio of 3 to 1, which is 3 parts of chocolate to 1 part of cream. I have 900 grams to 300 mils of cream here, 50 mils of corn syrup, a pinch of salt, which is about 5 to 7 grams, and some flavoring, which I will not be using. I'm just going to pour my cream over the chocolate here, and then into that will go my corn syrup. Salt goes in here. And then I am going to pop this in the microwave. Now, important information for you to note critically at this point in time, that once the chocolate goes in the microwave, you want to keep an eye on it like a hawk, because one small distraction and you're having problems over here. Now, what is the time? The timing of white chocolate in the microwave is relative because people's microwaves are different and the settings are slightly different. Here's a general principle for you. My microwave is on full power. So at full power, I aim to kind of bring this to a warming temperature of, let's say, anything between 10-second intervals. So let's give it first 10 seconds, have a look. 10 seconds, and you keep looking until you get to where you need to get to. I'll take you through all that process. So let's go and work this in the microwave. First 10 seconds in, and it's important to check here. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened at all over here. We still have the chocolate is solid. The bottom of the bowl is a little bit warm, so I'm going to leave that in there a little longer. We'll see. Now, after 4 minutes in the microwave, this is what we are looking at. The white chocolate is beginning to melt and the cream is settling on top. Now you can stir it here. I am not going to do that though. I am not going to do that. So we're going to put that back in. At 6 minutes, I don't expect that it's all melted, but actually it is. So the chocolate has sunk to the bottom of the bowl, and what we have now is the cream. So I am just mixing all this together. There's a bit of resistance and tension with some lumpy bits here, but it will come together. As simple as white chocolate may seem, it is really, really important that you get it done right. Oh, okay, it's all mixed now. And now I have myself a smooth white chocolate ganache. Now, are you going to be able to use this right now? No, definitely not. I'll be talking you through what you need to do next. When you've made your ganache and it's like this, you want to leave it to set. I leave my ganache typically for 24 hours. It's a habit thing. I can't explain it to you. But when you've got it done this way, please leave it to set. And in 24 hours, we'll be back and I'll show you exactly the entire process I employ the ganache through to get the best results for covering my cake.